हेलो।
भैया रिवाइव दे दो भैया भैया प्लीज भैया जल्दी देखो भैया क्या कर रहे हो भैया भैया रिवाइव दे दो भैया
किसको?
नया यूट्यूब चैनल को
Hello everyone. Welcome back to the internet.
Take a spin, now you're in with the techno set. You're going surfing on the internet.
I am going to create a character concept art today. Specifically for a 3D game. But Mr. Dross, why do we even need a concept art? Now imagine you want to create 5 dragons. Because clearly you are compensating for something. So you hired 5 of the best 3D artists known to mankind. Each of them came up with a different idea for an ideal dragon that would boost your ego, little man. But the problem is, all of these designs look miles apart from each other.
Aw, I sound like a 14-year-old, but my boobs are huge.
So apart that they don't even look like they belong in the same universe. You could have avoided all of this only if you had listened to me and hired a concept artist. He would have came up with all the designs. He would have been faster and all the designs would have looked like they belong in the same universe. Now let's get back to our concept art. Don't worry, I'm going to be with you all. I'm going to hold your hand and lick it and guide you. I've divided the video in 3 parts: planning, preparation, and execution. Out of which I believe planning and preparation are one of the most important parts. So let's get into it. First up, we need to know the background of the character. Even better if we know the story of the game. So coming up next is a story right out of my ass. Jerry, cue the intro.
It's time for some ass.
All sorts of stories.
I want the game to have retro Tollywood touch to it.
It's the 90s.
Vikram, once feared as a notorious gangster. He had left behind his violent past to embrace a quiet life in a small village near Kuppam. Now a tuk-tuk driver, he found peace in the simple joys of family and honest work, far removed from the blood-soaked streets of his whole life. But fate had other plans. One fateful evening, Vikram witnessed a horrifying scene. A young boy being forcefully dragged into a van. Now, without hesitation, his instincts kicked in. He followed the van deep into the outskirts of the village. The chase led him to an abandoned warehouse, where Vikram confronted a gang of thugs holding the child captive. In a fierce showdown, his old skills resurfaced. Vikram single-handedly overpowered the goons, rescuing the boy. Moments later, the police arrived to arrest the criminals, and Vikram thought it was all over. But peace is a fragile thing, especially when you have crossed the wrong people. The thugs Vikram had taken down worked for a very powerful local politician and mafia kingpin, Raghav Rao, a man whose reputation was as brutal as it was untouchable. And Raghav didn't take kindly to Vikram's interference. Days later, while Vikram was out working, Raghav's men stormed his home. They abducted his ailing mother, leaving a trail of destruction behind. Luckily, Vikram's sister Meera, who was returning from college, saw the chaos from a distance. Thinking quickly, she hid, narrowly escaping the capture. Meera witnessed the abduction and overheard the men mention Raghav's name. When Vikram returned to a ransacked home, Meera told him everything that happened. Fury surged through him. His past had come crashing back, threatening the very family he had sworn to protect. Vikram knew that Raghav's reach was vast, and going after him meant plunging back into the dark world he had tried so hard to leave behind. But he had no choice. Armed with nothing but his wits his fists, and a burning love for his family, Vikram set out on a relentless quest to save his mother. Along the way, he uncovered that Raghav's criminal empire was more sinister than he ever imagined, tangled in human trafficking and organ harvesting. Each step brought Vikram closer to an explosive final confrontation with Raghav, where the stakes were not just his mother's life, but the future of his village and family. As Vikram faces the demons of his past, he must navigate a deadly game of cat and mouse. Every move could be his last. Can Vikram outsmart the ruthless mafia kingpin, save his mother, and keep Meera safe? Or will his dark past swallow him whole, destroying everything he's fought so hard to protect?
I've put together a checklist of character design requirements. It can be really helpful. But keep in mind, you don't need to know everything before you start. Yeah, this will be a great time to stop scratching your balls and look at the screen. If you look at this table, you will see I have marked the really important requirements with this free PNG I found online. You can pause the video now or take a screenshot for later use. And these are the details I had before I started designing Vikram. You can pause the video again if you'd like to know what guided me through the process. Before I forget, about Vikram's appearance. Vikram is a rugged, tough guy with a past and all, but let's keep it in Bollywood.
अफसर सिफू ये क्या हो रहा है देखिए ये टेबल और कुर्सियां कहाँ जा रही हैं बताइए हेलो
So no scars. You know how it works. He gets hurt, he spits on it, rubs some dirt, and in next scene, he's mint condition. He has got the strength of a gangster but the looks of a hero. And since we are in Bollywood, he will be in his mid-40s but he'll play for a character in his mid-20s. And it's always better to do some research about the ethnicity of your character. It makes for an authentic and grounded character. Vikram is a South Indian, a Dravidian. Dravidians were the original folks of Indian subcontinent, chilling in South India long before anyone else showed up. They were rocking darker skin tones, broader faces, and wavy hair, long before it was cool. So when some South Indians say, "I'm not Indian, I'm South Indian," I think they are making a fool out of themselves. But what do I know? I'm just a figment of your imagination. Alright, it's mood board time. I used to be a guy who used to throw anything remotely cool on my boards. But I have matured now. I'm way cooler. Now I keep it clean and labeled. Trust me, it's better to add references gradually while working on the project than to create a chaotic mess in the beginning that will confuse you and lead to your creative demise. Nobody wants that.
Hello guys, you know what time it is?
Well, of course, it's the execution time. I should be doing a lot of silhouette drawings, but I don't feel like it. And we are going to create a semi-stylized, realistic character. So I know what I want. Keep in mind, I'm not saying that realistic characters don't need any shape languages. They do. I'm just skipping the extra steps. I've already stretched this video out a lot. So I whipped up 3 basic face sketches. First one, yeah, that was a dead end. I kinda knew it wasn't going anywhere. So I ditched that one. But the second and third design, now we are talking. You and me, we are talking, right? The second one screams Vikram. Vikram! Vikram! As for the third one, it just so happens to be perfect for a villain, Raghav Rao. And that was totally intentional. Yep, I knew that all along. Of course. Since I'm still holding your hands, they're sweaty now. Here's a little cheat code for you. I've got a 3D model of a human in a layer below, and I'm using it as a size reference. Why? Because it makes life so much easier. Here's the thing. When you're working for a company, they want things done yesterday. So the more shortcuts you can use without compromising the quality, the better. Let's talk outfits. Since it's the 90s, I'm giving him some serious room to breathe with extra roomy clothes. That was the craze back then, right? A 10x shirt layered over a wife beater, paired with a brown leather belt and matching shoe. Pro tip: always match your leather in your outfits. I know it's tempting to copy and paste one side of the outfit to the other, but don't do it. Instead, try mixing it up. Make things interesting. Add different designs. Play around with folds. All the good stuff. Same goes for the head. Symmetry in face is cool, but in hair, not really. Remember, imperfections adds character. Keep it interesting, just like your taste in YouTube videos. Play around with the colors. Just see what goes with your character's personality. I'm gonna be using a lot of triangular shapes for two reasons. I'm going for that extra edgy vibe with Vikram, and our mind subconsciously prefers triangles. Alright, to be clear, you don't need to add a lot of details to the outfit. I'm doing it because I was neglected as a child and I like pain. It makes me feel important. And I haven't had a chance to draw like this in ages. I wouldn't recommend going overboard with the clothing folds like me. Save some of your precious life juice for me. And that's the outfit done. Getting to the facial details. Vikram got some baggy eyes because of his stressful life. I'm adding angular shapes in his facial features as well, which gives off that menacing aura Vikram's character need. For the hair, I'm going to treat it like a 3D object. After all, it is going to be in 3D. Unless you're talking about some powerful PCs and consoles, most other devices are not really optimized enough to render in such high quality games. And some final touches. Shadows, highlight and some subsurface scattering. Moving to the back side now. It's quite simple. Since the silhouette is almost same as the front side, you can just flip it horizontally and start working. Start working. Don't forget to adjust the feet and hands so it looks like they're facing backward. Now for the side profile. I can actually bullshit you right now and tell you there are magic tricks to it, but there are none. Also, magic is fake. I learned that the hard way. I can never look Santa in the eye. So this is how I'm going to tackle this. I'll start by comparing the front and the back view side by side. Alignment is the key here. I've also noticed that the length of your cranium often matches the widest part of your head. So I'm using that as a guide for his cranium. Focus on the key features like shoulder width, waist and hips. And be sure to match those facial features. You want all the sides to be consistent. Start with a basic shape and then rough out the profile. Then gradually refine it. Finally, check your alignment again and make sure everything ties together smoothly. Keep in mind, alignment is very important here because 3D artists use these concept art as a size reference. So if your alignment is off, a 3D artist will have a hard time. Final tip. Some studios incorporate subtle features inspired by the voice actor to enhance the character.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's done. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe the channel. Did you know I made a 29 art tips video just the other day? Click here to watch that. You can go now.